Okay, now we are going to discuss about the question administrative behavior. That is, to be successful administrator, one must have a Catholic curiosity. So, first of all, what is the Catholic curiosity? Okay, Catholic curiosity. Administration is a process permeating an all collective efforts. It is a cooperative effort directed toward the realization of a consciously laid down objectives. So administration has been described by Ordway Reed as the central powerhouse. It's a central powerhouse, okay. So it's a motivation, impulsion and spirit which make the institution drive to fulfill its purpose. Administration is meant by and mean for human being. The human factor becomes the central person to it. So administration is a social process comprising a series of actions leads to accomplishment of objective. The effectiveness of this process depends on the administrator, especially on leadership role. So leadership always involve attempt on the part of leader to influence the behavior of group of people. So people not organizational have ideas, people creates and people innovates. In the final analysis, individual efforts determine whether organization succeed or fail. An administrator who is culture builder foster creativity, productivity and envision the future. An important feature in managing people is people's creativity. The basic requirement for this is Catholic curiosity. Okay, so this all about what is the Catholic curiosity in the administration. Now second is Frederick Herzberg two-factor theory. What are the two factor X and Y? Hygiene factor. It's a McGregor. Okay, X and Y. But in case of Frederick Herzberg, there are two factors which are hygiene factor and normal factors. So Maslow contribution is landmark in social psychological research, and he was a forerunner to many like Herzberg and Room. So his theory needs hierarchy has had tremendous impact on modern management approach to motivation. So Maslow theory is based on the idea of prepotency of needs. Accordingly, he developed a scale on which at one end are lower order needs like physiological and security needs, and at the other end higher level needs are social and self-esteem. So influenced by the writing of Abraham Maslow, Frederick Herzberg became interested in analyzing the relationship between meaningful experience at work and mental health. So he believed that all individuals have two set of needs to avoid pain and grow psychologically. No pain and to grow psychologically. The motivation hygiene theory is grew out the study of conducted in Petersburg. The platform for the same was provided by Maslow. Two-factor theory was Herzberg, which talks about satisfier and dissatisfier, largely drawn from in the extension of Maslow need theory. So Herzberg found a duality of attitude about work experience in the response of worker on their job. Job experience leading to favorable reaction most often were related to the context in which the job was performed, that is the surrounding and factor on the periphery of the task content, as against this factor causing unfavorable response were found to be related to avoidance of discomfort. So again, the factor causing good response are related to personal growth, fulfillment of psychological needs. Herzberg labeled the factor associated with growth and the task content of the job as satisfier, and factor associated with pain avoidance and the context surrounded of job were labeled dissatisfier. Thus, it will be said that Herzberg two-factor theory is more or less an extension of Abraham Maslow's theory of motivation. So what is there? There is a motivational factor and hygiene theory grew out of the study he conducted in Petersburg. The platform for the same was provided by Maslow. Two-factor theory of Herzberg, which talks about satisfier and dissatisfier. So for the satisfaction, there should be attitude about the work experience in response of worker on their job. Job experience leading to favorable reaction most often were related to context in which the job were performed, and the surrounding and factor on the periphery of the task content as against this factor causing unfavorable response were found to be related to avoidance of discomfort. So this is the good response are related to personal growth, fulfillment of psychological needs, and labeled associated with growth and task content. So this is the satisfier factor of the Herzberg. Now next question is about the nature and value of communication. So this is the communication. Okay, nature and value of communication in administration we indicate that communication is authority. It is saying that communication is authority. So in any organization, whether public or private, which organization, the activity of an organization, authority and responsibility is equally decentralized, taking into consideration various facts into consideration. The whole organization structure is based on principle of hierarchy. That is, there is a various level of administration authority. Similarly, various managerial activity take place in this hierarchy from down to top. So communication in a particular and several organization is deliberately established who should report to whom, in which frequency, how should written communication more in the hierarchy, which is the first level where action should be initiated and pass on to the successive higher level. All these are formally laid down guide communication along desired line. So such an arrangement, communication in a hierarchy order, indicates that communication is a authority. Okay, now next question is about the motivation. So motivation theory is not synonymous with behavioral theory. See, behavioral theories are different, okay, and motivational theories are different. The motivation are only one class of determine of behavioral. While behavior is almost always motivated, it is also always biologically, culturally, and situationally determined as well. So behavioral is always like biologically, culturally, situationally determined. So behavior of a man is collective result of interaction between various type of emotion with the situation in which he lives, where motivation in the feeling that drives the man to work and induce in him a feeling of willingness to work. Motivation is due to either any emotions or situation, but the difference in behavior and motivation is that behavior is a comprehensive term which incorporate in it virtually every emotion of human being, where motivation is just a part of behavior and the behavior is always motivated. So behavior takes its shape by complex relationship between the emotions anger, happiness, sadness, joy, fear with the particular situation, which act as a motivator of behavior. While motivation is just the feeling of willing to work, it is much work as simplistic term. So behavior depends on the biological, cultural practice and custom, experience, value, situation and many more factors which motivate. Its where motivation can be included by an economic incentive, feeling, responsibility, opportunity, self-actualization. The motivation works as a basic tool in shaping the behavior of someone. Behavior do not only take its shape due to motivation but also due to other class of determinant which include biological, social, economical, political or virtual, anything that can affect the human body. Okay, so this is the difference between behavior and not motivation. So next question, no science of public administration unless there is a body of comparative study from which it, so it is saying about comparative study from which it may be possible to discover principle of generality, the transcend national boundaries and peculiar historical experiences. So the case public administration being a science has been stated in three ways, varying in degree of claim made. On the lowest plane, it has been said that though at the present state of development, public administration may not merit the name of science. In due course, it may become one. What is present to us at the present, it is a framework of connected ideas about public administration, which provide a basis for further study and analysis, and when they have been carried forward sufficiently, public administration will emerge as a science just like other social science. So working in a field where there are still so many unknown factors, so much territory unexplored, the student can do not more than suggest a framework of thoughts, an arrangement of ideas, principles which may help others to make their own synthesis out of their own experiences. The fact that these principles collected from writing of half a dozen different people, many of whom made no attempt to correlate their work with that of the others, can be presented in a coherent and logical pattern in itself strong evidence that there is a common element conduct of social group. So next is Abraham Maslow theory of motivation and Herzberg motivation hygiene theory. Do you think that they are universally applicable? See, Maslow and Herzberg contribution are a landmark in social psychological research. Their theory of need hierarchy and motivation hygiene has a tremendous impact on modern management approach to motivation. Both of them elaborate upon importance of communication. According to Maslow need hierarchy theory, it is hierarchical needs and needs are fulfilled. Unfilled needs provides motivate. A leader must know the fulfilled and unfilled needs. And according to Maslow theory, communication play an important role, realizing the needs of social needs, esteem needs, self-actualization needs. So social needs, man is social animal. Once psychological needs are fulfilled, he seek affection, love, belongingness from other human being and society around him. These desires motivate the human being and society around him. These desires motivate the human being consciously. Esteem needs are people have a desire for respect and recognition from society, workplace, family, friendship circle. These esteem needs are fulfilled through recognition of personal achievement by the society. This recognition in the form of certificate and citation appreciation. So self-actualization is this term was coined by the Kurt Goldstein, is considered the highest needs of hierarchy of needs and is directly toward the searching meaning, purpose in life and reading good literature, writing and meeting with people from different fields, especially spirituality, play an important role in the realizing these needs. So Herzberg two-factor theory identifies five strong determinants of job satisfaction and five of job dissatisfaction. The former is known as motivation factor and latter is the hygiene factor. The factor associated with pain avoidance and of the job were labeled dissatisfier. Herzberg found a duality of attitude about work experience in response of worker on the job. Job experience leading to favorable reaction most often were related to context in which the job was performed, that is surrounding and factor of the periphery. So factor causing unfavorable responses were found to be related to avoidance of discomfort. Again, the factor causing good response are related to personal growth, fulfillment of psychological need. Satisfier, the factor identified as satisfier which perform the role of motivator in job are as follow: achievement, the personal satisfaction, solving problems, completing tasks, seeing results of one's efforts, recognition, positive acknowledge of the task completed or other personal achievement, and human relations, expression of reward, work itself, the task content, job, relative interest, variety, challenge, freedom of boredom, responsibility, full responsibility and accountability, advancement and growth, like higher order tasks to perform, the sense of possibility for growth and advancement, actual satisfaction, and the potential dissatisfier or hygiene factor, salary, company policy, administration, supervision, working condition, interpersonal relation. Hygiene factors such as working condition, company administration, salary, supervisor relation, benefits and service are envisioned and environmental element that have little or no relationship. So Hirschberg just urged that satisfier is the motivator factor and dissatisfier is hygienic factor. Ha mama. Hirschberg just argued that an employee is ha. Maslow is helpful providing insight of needs motive. Hirschberg other hands provides insight. Ha. अरे माँ बस एक चैप्टर कंप्लीट कर अच्छा दे. हाँ. Motives of Herzberg. Thus, there is no important difference between two models. Like Maslow emphasized that any unsatisfied need, whether of lower order or higher order, will motivate individual. Thus, it is a universal application. It is more true in developing country like India, where even the lower needs are not reasonably satisfied, and therefore such needs acts a motivating force. According to Herzberg, their lower level needs are hygienic factor and fail to motivate worker. This is more true in case of developed country where most of the lower order needs are fulfilled, and this theory are free from problems, suffer from unrealistic assumption in perfect methodology. So next question is what is morale? And states its significance and suggests method to foster sustained morale in an organization. Man does not live only by the bread alone. Esteem is a powerful motivator of energetic and rightly oriented action. Government is a human institution and rests not only on the formal arrangement, skill, principle, but even more on the attitude. Enthusiasm and loyalty. Work having lost its joy loses its quality, while the worker having found his appreciation bring forth his best. Thus, for the success of an organization, high morale among employees is essential. According to L.D. White, morale is a byproduct of combination of components which provides a balanced, healthy situation. People may work self-respect with the opportunity for individual growth. Similarly, Munne morale means the sum of several physics and quality that include courage, fortitude, resolution, confidence. Morale has the individual as well as group institution aspect. The two are interactive of sustaining, stimulating other. The two are interactive, one sustaining, stimulating other. It is the individual form morale built upon the opportunity to acquire distinction, prestige, personal power, right to be considered successful, and the respect and opportunity for personal self-development. Professor Marx here places morale on an intellectual emotional pedestal. His observation is that highest morale, both intellectual and emotional quality. So about the morale, we can conclude that it is basically a state of mind, is the expression of higher willpower of individual and psychological virtue. Method to foster the sustained morale is an organization. The importance of good morale is service cannot be overemphasized. Its presence leads to all-round efficiency and success. Its absence to inefficiency and failure. Good morale is to service what good health is to be body. So broadly speaking, the more one is able to understand the purpose of organization to which belongs, and more he is able to sympathize with his identity. So awareness of targets and first elements bolstering morale in public service, constitution of production team instead of an official hierarchy. Employees should have so far as possible to share formulation of work program, determination of working condition. Employees should be given freedom of work, participate in policy making, participate in the consultation important decision. Every effort should be made to create among the officers and employee an organization team spirit the corps and simpleness. So recognition, every individual is eager to praise and recognition of his work. According to LD White, high morale is linked with confidence, and it is the duty of manager to help develop his feeling among the employees. And working condition, good working conditions like security, tenure, responsible opportunity, promotion, facility for leaves, good office accommodation, equipment, satisfaction, and motivating leadership is stimulate leadership aims greatly to heighten the morale of employee. One of the chief characteristics of definition of leader is that he is a person who can make you feel an inch taller in his presence. An efficient leader motivates and impresses colleagues and subordinates. He listens to all the members of organization attentively and considers their problem to be important and share their will and woe. Leadership who instead of issuing order guides them instead of harassing and concerning. So development of human relation usually is a belief that there is formal relationship between superior officer and their subordinate, governed by service rule, regulation. Organization to maintain high moral, informal human relationship play a significant role. Personal allegiance. As for high moral, the impartiality of high officer toward the subordinate is necessary in the same way as the high official must have faith in allegiance to personal organization. High official must behave in such a way that subordinate may accept them, and his high moral organization is significant for unity, power and discipline. With the result of high morale among personnel are feeling self-respect and turn convert into the prestige glory of organization. The efficiency increased, pride employee also increased, morale goes down, then suffering from the inferiority conflicts and they fail to concentrate on. Because of high morale, the main power planning, maximum utilization become, and achievements are them to undertake greater responsibility. There's a feeling strong inherent strength, and which possess the above qualities sure achieve the crowning glory. Okay, now thank you. This was the chapter third.